Mrs. Vaughn.
No report here.
Thank you, Mrs. Vaughn. Mr. Johnson?
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Valles?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Valles. Mr. Paul?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I have several items here. Oh, let me get up.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. First, I'd like to bring up several appointments that the mayor, and I better put my glasses on for this. I'm making a motion that, for the Regional Transit Authority Board, requesting our approval for the reappointment of the following positions to the Regional Transit Authority. Mr. Richard Beal, 219 Harvard Boulevard. His term will expire February 2019. And Mrs. Sue Hogue, 407 Colonial Drive, and her term will expire also in 2019.
Second.
It's been really moved in second that Mr. Richard Bill and Sue Hogue be reappointed to the Regional Transit Authority Board. Term to expire on both is February 2019. Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved, motion carried. Mr. Paul.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Second, I would like to, for the Income Tax Review Board, I would make a motion to approve the following appointment. Mr. Duke Rackich, 4,400 Scioto Drive. His term will expire February 2019.
Second.
Thank you.
It's been really moved in second that Mr. Duke Rackich be reappointed to the Income Tax Review Board. Term to expire February 2019. Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved, motion carried. Once again, I would like to thank the members of council for accepting the recommendations from the mayor's office. As you're well aware, all three appointments tonight are reappointments, and we should be thankful for people volunteering their time and energy at no compensation to the city. Mr. Paul.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Thank you. I make a motion, second, or my third agenda, or item here on the agenda is to appoint or designate Mayor Dominic Mucci as the acting city manager until said position can be permanently filled. Effective January 13, 2016. Thank you, Mr. Trapello.
Second.
It's been regularly moved in second that the mayor, Dominic Mucci, be appointed as the acting city manager effective on January 13th. Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So move, motion carried. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the members of council for and having the faith and confidence in me holding the fort down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You do well.
Thank you.
Fourth, I'd like to call for a Health and Safety Committee meeting on February 2nd at 6:30. Okay,
What day?
February 2nd, that'll be 2 meetings. It'll be our next regular meeting.
6:30.
Yes, sir.
The chairman of the Finance Committee is calling for a Finance Committee meeting.
Health and Safety.
Health and Safety meeting on February 2nd at 6:30. The clerk will facilitate the proper notice for a Health and Safety Committee meeting on February 2nd, 6:30 here at Council Chambers.
Don't forget, we're doing Finance Saturday at 10:30. Okay. I need you here. Okay, and last, just a reminder, last week, Mr. Lellis, Mr. Villamagna, and myself, we went to the rec board meeting. They didn't have a quorum. Tomorrow they're going to have a meeting again, just to let everybody know. And if you have any concerns, the rec board meeting will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the clubhouse. So they're rescheduled the meeting for tomorrow night. I should have brought it up last week, but I'm sorry. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. I spoke with the recreation director. She's going to try to facilitate tomorrow evening's meeting as quickly as possible, but it's necessary for approval of rentals that are coming up. I'm glad you announced that. And also, Mr. Paul, you brought up an interesting point. Saturday, City Council once again will meet in the workshop for the budget, 2016 budget. I know the clerk has already facilitated the proper notices to the media, but just as a reminder, your treat, Mr. Paul, as the chairman.
You say you got
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Well, that's sorry.
We'll continue on to Mr. Bill Mack.
Yes, ma'am. First off, one comment before I make a little report was the finance meeting last Saturday. To me, and I think to everybody at council, it was wonderful. We had great dialogue. Everybody participated in it, and with another one coming this Saturday, I believe truly that everybody's input, it isn't going to be long before we have the budget. So I was ecstatic about it. I just thought it was wonderful. The second thing under the Pride Committee was Mr. Del Redo asked me to start the Beautification Committee as a subcommittee to the Pride again. And I had some volunteers, Tony Deere, Tammy Sweeney, Maddie Patterson, and Mr. Ellis is talking with a couple people. So there's anybody that has anybody that they'd like to get involved with that, because a lot of people are calling and asking about it now that they know that, we're starting up again. And they already have ideas with the entrance to the south end and the north end of the city, and some other projects concerning light up night and the raffles and making some money to try to make it a little bit nicer than what it was last year, if that's possible. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna, and I want to take this opportunity to thank council, because I too feel that last Saturday workshop was good dialogue, and I appreciate the homework assignment that everybody gave by the finance office. And I do want to point out that Mr. Lewis is with us this evening. Mr. Lewis informed me after that workshop that he had a passing in the family, a death in his family, and was taking today and tomorrow off. And we would visit a lot of what was requested about recreation on Thursday and Friday and work through that. But when he heard that I had questions on now and then, and talking to his office, they informed him, and he attended tonight's meeting. So thank you for taking time away from your family in this time of need and attending tonight's council meeting. But I thought last Saturday was good, and hopefully we will have everything prepared for what you asked us to put together by Saturday. Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna. We'll now move on to Mr. Diaretta.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll give you a little update on the search for the city manager by town. Right now, we have 3 applicants. 2 of them are locally. Some members of council have expressed a desire to extend the time. If that is the wishes of the majority of council, then so be it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm staying until my original intent and get it over with by next Wednesday. Start the interviews the following day, if possible. The last time, it took us almost 9 months to get a city manager. The time before that, it was 6 months to get a city manager. This won't be my 4th manager, my last. And if we find another city manager next year, Willie Paul, you're
see a pattern there?
We've so far, we've spent $695. That's all I anticipate on spending. If somebody wants to interview, they're going to buy their own lunch. They can buy mine.
Thank you, Mr. Diaretta. We'll continue on to Mr. Dressel.
No reports.
Thank you, Mr. Dressel. That will conclude the reports from the members of council. We will now move on to our administrative officers, our law director, Mr. Rapella.
Yes, Your Honor, I have one report. I received a request by the county commissioners through the prosecutor's office. As you all know, they're tearing the annex down. And when they were doing their due diligence over there and doing the surveying, they found out that the annex, which would be the north end of the annex, encroaches 7 feet into our alley. Now, how that happened?
On the north end.
On the north end.
Really?
So, so what the commissioners would like us to donate that property to them. And the attorney talked about adverse possession, being that the building was on that property. However, I've researched that and I have a different opinion than what they do. So if we could set a meeting for that in the building and grounds, I'd be prepared to talk to you guys about it, and then you guys can discuss as to what you want to do. Because that, I believe that alley, so that's the alley between the north face of that and the bank, and it shows up as a 20-foot alley there that we own, and it looks like, and that building encroached 7 feet for the whole north side of that alley. So, but anyway.
When was that building built? Do you have any idea?
I was just going to ask the judge, was that built during your tenure here, or?
The annex was put on more years back than I want to remember. If they're tearing it down, what difference does it make if it encroaches upon the city's alley?
Well,
It's your alley, you keep it.
well, yeah, but I think what they want to do is, I think they want to put an improvement on that.
They want to make a parking lot.
Right.
That's what they want to do. I don't know how that affects it one way or the other. Quite frankly, I'm not even sure the city needs that alleyway. I mean, it's used, but
Right. But at any
primarily
rate,
for the bank.
right, at any rate, that's something we'll discuss so that you guys know about.
Prior to having the Building and Grounds Committee, if we could run it through staff, the building department, to make sure there's no utilities in the alley, or I'm sure it's not going to be under the building, or if it's in there, any violations, we do give it to them through the plan office. So I would like that opportunity to run it through the divisions to get their clearance and then present it to the Building and Grounds Committee. Mr. There's a lot of, as you're pointing out, subjects that could come up, but I prefer staff looking at it first and then making a recommendation to the Building and Grounds Committee. Mr. Paul, if you would like to call for a Building and Grounds Committee. Mr. Rapella, did the county indicate to you on their timetable? Because quite frankly, I think the vision of exactly what they're going to do there for the ingress and egress in Court Alley and Third Street is going to be extremely important. So if we can have a review of their plans, also the parking lot would be helpful. But did they give you a timetable?
No, I didn't, but I'll call the attorney tomorrow, Mike Flavor, and see if they can do that.
Very good. And then, Mr. Paul, you could call a Building and Grounds Committee meeting after review. So agreeable to the other members of Building and Grounds? Mr. Johnson?
Fine with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rapella. Once again, we want to thank the department heads for attending tonight's meeting. I, as the acting city manager, have no report, so we will now move into public forum. Is there anyone wishing to speak to city council on city business? Please come forward, state your name and address. If not, Mr. Paul.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Paul.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I make a motion we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Second.
Been recommended the second that we adjourn. Roll call.
Vaughn. Aye. Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Wallace.
Aye.
Mr. Paul.
Aye.
Mr. Villamagna.
Aye.
Mr. Loretto.
Aye.
Mr. Dressel.
You want this?
I know a lot of people will tell you.
This is already please come together. Move in. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Paul?
Here.
Mr. Villamagna?
Here.
Mr. Loretto?
Here.
Mr. Dressel?
Here.
All members of council are here and accounted. Mrs. Hall.
Yes. I move that the minutes of January 5th, 2016 and January 12th, 2016 be accepted as written.
Second.
It's been regularly moved and second that the minutes of January 5th, 2016 and January 12th, 2016 be approved as written. Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Wells?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagnus?
Aye.
Mr. Del Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved, minutes accepted. Petitions and communications, Madam Clerk.
None this week.
We will now move on to ordinance number 2015-115 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Davis, Mr. Johnson.
Ordinance number 2015-115, an ordinance authorizing and directing the approval of expenditures without a purchase order over $3,000 pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.41.
You heard the third and final reading of ordinance number 2015-115. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. Members of council, I have provided all members of council with the statements, the invoices, and the requisitions for all of them that are listed in this ordinance. Any questions?
Question.
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagnus?
Aye.
Mr. Del Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-115 totally adopted. Ordinance number 2015-122 by the Service Committee, Mr. Del Loretto, Mr. Paul, for its third reading.
Ordinance number 2015-122, an ordinance authorizing and designating the city manager as the local official with the authority to execute the project known as the City of Steubenville Downtown Sign Upgrade City Project number 2015-127, and complete all necessary functions that may be required to complete said project, including but not limited to engineering, design services, construction, administration, inspection services, bidding services, advertising for bids for construction, any rebidding that may be required, entering into a contract with the lowest most qualified bidder, and authorizing payment therefor.
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance number 2015-122 to correct an error in section 1. Section 1 should read that the city manager is the local official with the authority to execute the project known as the City of Steubenville Downtown Sign Upgrade, city project number 2015-127. And the rest is the same.
It's been regularly moved in second that ordinance number 2015-122 be amended and as follows, as was outlined by Councilman Johnson.
Question?
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villamagnus?
Aye.
Mr. Del Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-122 is amended. Will the clerk please read the caption, ordinance number 2015-122 as amended?
Ordinance number 2015-122 is amended. An ordinance authorizing and designating the city manager as the local official with the authority to execute the project known as the City of Steubenville Downtown Sign Upgrade, City Project number 2015-127, and complete all necessary functions that may be required to complete said project, including but not limited to engineering design services, construction administration, inspection services, bidding services, advertising for bids for construction, any rebidding that may be required, entering into a contract with the lowest and most qualified bidder, and authorizing payment therefor.
You heard the reading of ordinance number 2015-122 as amended. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address.
My name is Mark Nelson. I live at 272 County Road 26 here in Steubenville. This came up at the SRG meeting earlier this week with the Steubenville Revitalization Group, and all the members of the board expressed concern that the project follow the overall city plan. I think it's around page 111 of the city plan that specifies the look of the downtown, especially the historical district. And I don't know how this fits in or the streetscape project fits in. I spoke to Chris about that at SRG actually. But it's SRG's concern that if we are spending money towards signage, that we stay with essentially the look that comes down 4th Street, historic North 4th Street, as we continue hopefully to at least the library, and then a street or two east and west off of that with that architectural, historical looking signage, if we're spending money on anything. Maybe we can't do it all, maybe we can't do as much as we could if we went with the cheap signage, but as we continue to improve the infrastructure, I think it's going to continue to attract business, attract tourism, attract pride, all good things. So it's just the hope of SRG that the council consider that as they vote. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance number 2015-122 as amended? If not, I'm going to turn to staff for an explanation. As your council is aware, there's been emails back and forth on this very subject. Chris and Mr. Dolak.
I can address the sign one. This more is an ordinance, a sign compliance ordinance. Back in 2009, the Ohio Revised Code stated that all cities and municipalities have to upgrade their signs to meet reflectivity requirements. So we've been doing that throughout the years. That was required to be done by 2012. At that time, the federal government and Ohio Department of Transportation realized that municipalities such as township villages and cities like us were not going to be able to comply with that specific date. So they extended the date till January 22nd of 2018. We've been getting grants and through the Federal Highway Administration as well as through the Ohio Public Works Commission to upgrade our major routes, which we've done State Route 7 and we've done Sunset Boulevard throughout the city. We've been updating our local streets through resurfacing projects, including signs, street name signs, stop signs, one-way signs. We've been upgrading it through that matter. So this is just a continuation of upgrading signs throughout the downtown. Now this specific project in the downtown has 93 intersections. In this specific project, the limits are from Slack to Franklin, 3rd to 7th. Obviously, with the cost of the upgrade, we can't do all the intersections. So I allocated approximately $36,000 in my budget for 2016 to upgrade to standards that we need to follow regarding the Ohio Manual of Traffic Control Devices. And in that manual, that standard is a white sign on a green base, on a green background. I know there's concern about the 4th Street area, but this area would be in the downtown area as well. And we thought it would be a complement because Market Street is getting upgraded and resurfaced this year under our resurfacing program. So as it would resemble Sunset Boulevard, as you come down Market Street, for example, the first street you would hit would be 8th Street or 9th Street. You would see a red stop sign on a 2-inch post with a green and white sign. As you would come up to the first signalized intersection with 7th Street, you would see something that would be similar to Sunset Boulevard with the green blade hanging from the span wire. Those blades are anywhere, they're 1.5 feet in width, and they can get anywhere from 6 to 8 feet long. So that's kind of what it would look like downtown. We thought it would complement Market Street since we were going to resurface Market Street this year. So it doesn't more or less comply with what's going on 4th Street from Logan to Franklin, but it brings us into our compliance with our standards.
Thank you, Mr. Dolak. Mr. Petrozzi, would you like to add, especially with the concerns on these homes comprehensive
Yes,
and how they can be retrofitted?
and I believe that the calling ordinance, at least number 125, is dealing with the streetscape. And I think I'll explain that, and that will help everyone understand. What that ordinance is as you know, we have the comprehensive plan followed by our streetscape character study of the central business district that identified some of the same things that Mr. Nelson mentioned with regard to the historic site, like lamp posts, reproduction of lamp posts, sign posts, traffic signal poles with masts that project over the street. Similar to probably what a lot of you have seen when you've gone to other communities that have done streetscape projects in their central business district. Included things like trees, new tree wells, benches, a whole wide variety of amenities that you see in towns, in communities that have redown their downtowns. So what that ordinance is that ordinance, last year, we budgeted $90,000 to secure engineering services to begin the actual detailed design of that project. This is a preparatory to the preliminary design to develop construction documents. So that will develop the construction documents for the same type of streetscape that Mr. Nelson mentioned regarding the central business district. The first block we were looking at was from Washington to Market Street. What we're looking at with regard to the overall sign project is making sure that those signs can be compatible and retrofitted in with a streetscape project at some point down the road when we undertake a streetscape project. Because right now, again, Ordinance 125 is just the beginning of the engineering. It could take up to a year to complete the engineering, and then begins the task of trying to secure funds. The construction cost, as you all know, when you do this type of project, a streetscape project, the construction costs for those types of amenities are much higher than when you do than a regular signpost or a regular light. So once the engineering is done and we have a firm construction cost, then we need to go out and begin to secure the funding for that. That's probably a few years away. So I hope I was able to explain the difference between the two and how they can be put together.
Thank you, Mr. Petras. Does any member of the council have questions? Mr. Ellis.
I think you're missing a point here, but in essence, we're going to be doing something twice. You're going to be putting the white with green backing signs up when you do market, correct? And somewhere down the road, we're going to follow the plan based on the north end of town, am I correct? So we're going to be doing something twice in a period of 2 to 3 years.
Or it could be longer. We wouldn't be doing it twice. What we'd be taking the same signs that Mike is proposing,
Right.
and then using them with the new sign poles and the new historic reproduction posts. It's simply be transferring it.
But based on the signs in the north end, correct me if I'm wrong, they're more historic looking, correct?
Well, the north end doesn't have the types of signs that Mike is referring to, because the north end has a whole different, it's not a commercial area. It doesn't have the intersections. There's no traffic signals, like, it's a different.
You and I are like two cars in the night here, we're passing each other.
It's a different look in the north end than
It is, but this is the light or the look that we're trying to achieve in the historic downtown or in the city in general, am I correct?
Well, we're using the reproduction type of posts, lamp posts, sign posts, those types of things to try and give it the period look that you've seen in other central business districts.
My concern is of doing something twice. I understand the post, and I haven't had the opportunity to read the specific plan that's been adopted, what our look of our physical makeup of our city is going to look like in 3 to 4, 5, 6 years. But I don't want to waste money and do something twice. If we have one kind of sign now and another kind of sign down the road, I think that's a waste.
Right. And that's not what we'd be
Well,
looking at.
that's what I was missing. I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. Thank you.
If we have until 2018 for compliance, is it possible to wait 1 year on this, just changing the signs on the, in the historic area, so we'd have a little more time to know, to be sure that we didn't end up doing it twice? That we didn't.
Well, it's like I said, Market Street is going to be resurfaced, so we thought it would be a compliment to make Market Street look a lot better with the signs similar to what's out on Sunset Boulevard. Chris, now correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the core district is from 3rd to 5th, Adams to Washington?
Yep, that's the core area.
Core area. So with this ordinance, you're going to, if you do approve the ordinance, I could work outside of that area if you wish. That's what council would. I can work outside of the area. Like, for example, the far corner would be at the corner of Franklin and 7th Street.
Interesting comment. I didn't ask anybody to say anything in case you're wondering. What I don't want, I think that we're trying to get at, is we don't want our core historic district downtown looking like Sunset Boulevard, which looks fine because it's Sunset Boulevard, which is a retail area. But if we make our core historic downtown look like that, then we're really not achieving the goal that a lot of people here have been working on for a long, not just me, by the way, but a lot of them have been working on for a long time. So I think that the Adams to Washington, 3rd, 4th, and 5th streets, if we could try to not do it twice, since we have a year to get in compliance, maybe we could in some way achieve it faster. I do understand having well-visible signs, but I've also visited lots of communities in Ohio that use historic design signing through 70 or 80 blocks of their downtown, not just 6. So I don't think we're restricted by any law on how we do our signage on our streets downtown. I think if you want to achieve more visibility, you can, but I think the historic signage would be just as allowed. So anyway, I think what we're trying to do is say we want to get there without doing it twice, like Washington Street, which we have done and tried to do the right way the first time, but didn't, even though that was paid for by the federal government. And now we have that whole street to do over again because we didn't do it when we ran our way through it 3 or 4 years ago when we redid it. So if we keep not doing it according to plan, each time we redo something, we will have eventually redone everything and not achieved plan at all by not doing it, because the argument always is, we don't have the money to do it the right way now, we'll do it the right way 2 or 3 years from now. And I don't want to sound too critical, other than the fact that we keep not doing it. And at some point, someone's got to say, either we're going to do a plan that we've all come up with, or we're not going to do a plan that we all come up with. But what's the point of having a town if you're going to just let it constantly be walked over? I think we need to stick with the plan that a lot of people, over 100 people worked on that plan. Let's do it, even if it's just 1 block at a time.
Thank you. Any further comments from staff?
We can do that though, right, Mike? And what he's saying, we can actually change where we're gonna.
I can not do this ordinance that you're passing encompasses 93 intersections. Now, with the cost of that, we cannot do all those intersections at once. So I can start with this in the outskirts on Franklin. So just for example, I can stay outside of the core district and start on those signs with the green and white background with regular stop signs on the we'll say the non-aesthetic posts. I can start it up there. As for the historic signs that are required in the downtown that you want in the core area, that's not an issue with me whatsoever, as long as they meet the federal requirements for retroreflectivity. Because then we can have a liability issue on the city if they do not meet that. I think the brown and white will meet that. I just would have to look into it a little bit more. Our standard has always been green and white.
And I also want to caution council that we, not an urgent deadline, but by 2018, I believe, January, we have to be in compliance. So if it's the wishes of council for the historic district to hold off, as the city engineers indicated, we'll work on the outside perimeters, but perhaps to look sooner or later at funding resources for the central business district.
Can can we modify the ordinance to say that within the core blocks as defined, that we would like the signage to be brown and white instead of green and white to be in compliance with the plan, and then do it as we have the funds?
I don't know if that's going to meet the standards.
Well, Councilman is correct. I mean, there's other districts, there's other cities and municipalities in Ohio that have different types and different signs that kind of send off their historic district. That is true. I looked, when we were researching the streetscape plan, we looked at the city of Canton and the city of Geneva on the Lake, for example, and they had some recent streetscapes done, but they used the green and white signs. But there are some cities, I believe, Shaker Heights, I believe, they use a different type of sign. So as long as the sign complies with the federal guidelines, I'm fine with that in the core district. I don't have a problem with that because you want to signify that you want that district separated from others. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. If you can pass the ordinance as it is, I, will know that within Adams to Washington and 3rd to 5th, you want the specific type of brown on white sign as long as it meets the reflectivity. The concern I have with Washington Street is Washington Street also is a state route. And we have requirements there that we maintain everything, but the state still has a significant say on what goes on that road. So that would have to be brought up to them as well before we can put any signage on that state route.
Okay. Further discussions from the members' council?
Roll call.
Question. Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Willis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Magna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-122 as amended, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-123 by the Safety and Health Committee for its third reading.
Ordinance number 2015-123, the ordinance adopting the City of Steubenville's emergency operations plan.
You heard your third and final reading of ordinance number 2015-123. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address.
John Massey, 567 Great Garden. What is the emergency operations plan?
It's a document that our health commissioner, along with the fire chief, several staff people have been working on for several months now, and I will refer that to Chief Paul.
Basically, it's just a revised version of the plan that's been in place for about 15 years now. We reviewed it, we revised it to bring it more up to federal. You got to deal with FEMA. FEMA, the state, the county, it's all incorporated in there. And it's basically a basic emergency operations plan. It's when things go above a department level event. When you have to bring in outside agencies, outside resources, and pretty much more than one department in a room. So it's more of a large emergency operations plan.
Is this like a cooperative agreement thing that you have with other communities that come in certain circumstances?
No, it's not an agreement. It's basically, each community has an emergency operations plan. And those plans have to be complementary to the state plan, the federal plan. It starts federal, then it goes to state, then it goes to the municipalities. And like I said, all we did here is we spent about 8 months reviewing, revising, and redrafting this one. Because it's over 10 years old. So that's what it is.
Mr. Massey, if I can also assist you, if you can recall, we had the oil spill and basically shut down our water intakes and closed our business community and all. It gives us an orderly plan on who's responsible for what, who to contact, where to go. Is there anyone else wishing to speak on ordinance number 2015-123? Please come forward, state your name and address. Members' council.
Question.
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-123, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-124 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, for its third reading.
Ordinance number 2015-124, an ordinance authorizing the sale of real estate owned by the city of Steubenville at the intersection of Sunset Boulevard and Garfield Avenue to Valley One Community Federal Credit Union in the amount of $101.
You heard the third and final reading of ordinance number 2015-124. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. Members of council.
Question?
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-124, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-125 by the Planning Committee, Mr. Johnson, for its third reading.
Ordinance number 2015-125, an ordinance authorizing and directing the city manager and urban projects director to advertise for proposals from consulting firms for professional services for the 2016 Central Business District Streetscape Project, authorizing the entering into a contract based on cost and qualifications and authorizing payment therefore.
You heard the third and final reading of ordinance number 2015-125. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. No, members of council.
Question?
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-125, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-126 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Johnson, for its third reading.
Ordinance number 2015-126, an ordinance amending section 921.04 of the codified ordinances of the city of Steubenville.
You heard the third and final reading of ordinance number 2015-126. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not, members of council. Mr. Billman.
Mayor, if you could, to make it clear in the public, could you explain how that's going to work again?
This particular ordinance, you mean?
This is the $5 one, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is. I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
Could you,
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bill Magna, for the question. This ordinance will accomplish moving $5 from an enterprise fund, which is the sanitation fund, over to the water fund. There is no user, no customer of the water department that will see an increase in their water bills. But to help alleviate the burden on the water fund, and the sanitation fund being a healthier fund, we are shifting $5 from sanitation, your refuge pickup, over to your water. Again, there are no increases in your water, but it will help alleviate the burden in the water department.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. Bill Magna. Any other questions from the members of council?
question?
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So moved. Ordinance number 2015-126, duly adopted. Ordinance number 2015-127 by the Finance Committee, Mr. Johnson.
Ordinance number 2015-127, an ordinance amending section 951.11A and B of the codified ordinances of the city of Steubenville.
You heard the reading of ordinance number 2015-127. Is there anyone wishing to speak on it? Please come forward, state their name and address. If not, members of council.
Question?
Roll call.
Ms. Vaughn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Bonagna?
Aye.
Mr. De Loretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
Aye.
So move ordinance number 2015-127 duly adopted. For a note, all ordinances that were passed this evening from ordinance number 2015-115 to this ordinance 2015-127, they were given 3 readings. So the effective date of all of those ordinances will be February 22nd. With that, we will now move on to ordinance number 2016-4 by council as a whole for its first reading.
Ordinance number 2016-4, an ordinance to approve and adopt current replacement pages to the codified ordinances.
You heard the first reading of ordinance number 2016-4. Its second reading will be 2 weeks hence on February 2nd. The third and final reading is scheduled for February 16th. If adopted, the effective date will be March 5th. Ordinance number 2016-5 by the Service Committee, Mr. Diarretto, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Hahn, for its first reading. Mr. Diarretto?
I want to table this in full, so I'll make a motion, I'll explain why. I'll make a motion that we table ordinance number 2016-5.
Second.
It's been really moved and seconded that ordinance number 2016-5 be tabled. Discussion?
Rick,
Wait.
take roll first.
Question?
Roll call.
Ms. Hahn?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Lellis?
Aye.
Mr. Paul?
Aye.
Mr. Villagna?
Aye.
Mr. DiLoretto?
Aye.
Mr. Dressel?
So moved. Ordinance number 2016-5 is tabled. Mr. Diarretto, would
Yeah.
you like to give the
Yeah,
explanation of
I
why
had
that is tabled?
had a long talk with John J. Massey Jr., and he would like to have these community service people take care of this building. And so a lot of them are not doing their work. He's going to be very strict and very accountable for these people cleaning up, have a schedule set up. And there's also maybe a possibility, this is to save money also. And of course, there's talk too on down the line that maybe the court might be going over to the Justice Center. So if the community services do not do their job, and I'm sure these girls that work here will keep me informed and the judge informed if it's clean or not, I'll bring it back in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diarretto, and let me say that that is encouraging news, and I look forward to the discussions with the judge on the supervision, and the sooner they can get into the city building, the better off we are.
I'll be down to watch.
This way I won't have to have rubber gloves on over the weekend.
I'll be down to watch it.
With that, thank you, Mr. Diarretto. That will conclude the ordinances and resolutions before City Council this evening. We will now move into the report of committees, and we'll start